Canada has been named as one of the possible countries that could resettle African migrants set to be deported from Israel. Israel has been planning to send more than 16,000 people back to Africa, but earlier today, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced a deal with the UN Refugee Agency. He says those migrants will be sent to a number of Western countries, like Canada. CBC's Middle East correspondent Derek Stoffel has the latest details.
Well, the deal was quite a reversal in policy by the Israeli government, announced this afternoon, but the details were pretty scarce. We're still trying to find out what these Western countries are. We do know that Israel was set to deport thousands of African men, send them back probably to Rwanda and Uganda, back to Africa. But then this reversal in policy today, and it was announced by the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who did mention that they could go to Western countries like Canada. He also mentioned Italy and Germany. But in terms of specifics, I've not heard anything back from the various government agencies here. So the details are certainly up in the air. But Canada shouldn't surprise anyone as a potential destination, as Canada has in the past, in the last couple of years, been a prime destination for African men and their families. We do know that since 2016, about 1,900 Eritreans have been brought to Canada and given refugee protection, and the Jewish community in Canada has been lobbying the Canadian government hard to expand those numbers. So in terms of details, we'll be waiting from both the Canadian and Israeli side, but certainly there was also a lot of pressure on Netanyahu and his government. There were protests on the streets here in Tel Aviv. Holocaust survivors wrote letters urging the government to reconsider. the national airline, said that they would not fly any of these migrants back to Africa. I've been speaking to a number of the people who were facing these deportation orders, and I just met with one today, an Eritrean man who said that he is beyond excited. This, in his words, gives him the hope for a new life. And when I asked him where he would like to go, he said if he had his choice, he would, of course, like to go to Canada, where he has a number of friends who have already been resettled.